Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to the studios of BBallBreakdown. I've got Worldwide Wob with me here, and we have a show today called Tank, Bank, or Sank. It might not be the right order, but let's go through this because I think it'd be interesting to talk about who is tanking, who is going to sink.
We just talked about this. It's tank, teams that we think should tank.
Yes.
Sank, meaning teams that are at the bottom of the ocean and don't have a chance, or teams that are going to the bank.
Okay, don't be so angry at me, please. This is not easy. Okay, let's try it again.
Yes.
Okay. Tank, sank, or bank.
There it is.
Got it. Okay. So,
new segment.
All right. So we're back. All right. So, because, Positive Coaching Alliance would not be happy with, that interaction. So
It's okay.
let's get back to, let's start with tanking, shall we?
It's tough love here, okay?
I know, but I don't do well. I know I'm not a millennial, but I don't do well with tough love. I'm sorry. And by the way, playing hard is not a skill. I'm telling you right now. I'm insisting it's not a skill. I don't care if Jerry West said it or all the millennials say it.
Having heart is not a skill?
No, but
It's not a
playing
trait?
hard, I don't think it's a skill. I don't think it's like a thing. I think it's what you're expected to do.
So you see a difference between playing hard and playing with a lot of energy. You don't see a difference.
That's actually a good point. Maybe I have to
I'm tanking
relook
that.
at this. Okay.
I'm tanking that. That is a skill. Playing with heart is a skill. Some people have it, some people don't. You can learn how to play with heart.
You can?
Absolutely. You get motivated enough,
you'll
you
work
get
on
enough
it?
tough love, or the Positive Coaching Reinforcement Academy, whatever it's called. It's like, it's okay, you don't have to just play good defense. No, that doesn't make me want to play with heart.
That's interesting. Well, I'm going to meditate on that for a minute while you tell me who you think is tanking first, because
Okay.
let's see it.
So let's start with the obvious one, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
They are the masters of remaining relevant, building for the future. I'll give them credit. Unlike the Knicks, they actually have pieces in place. D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, some will argue Julius Randle. Regardless, they have young Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Clarkson. They have guys that are here for 5-6 years down the road.
Okay, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they're working towards something.
Yeah.
That's sometimes all you need as a fan base. You can't win the title every single year.
Right. And, Nick Young is playing some defense right now.
Don't go there.
I think I think he's just auditioning for some other team that wants to
Okay.
pick him up.
So they're tanking for the reason that if they get a top 3 pick, they keep their first round draft pick again. How many years in a row is this? Like 3 or 4 since that Nash trade?
Right.
So if you are just new to the whole Lakers saga, they traded their first round pick to Phoenix for that Steve Nash deal. Phoenix had the pick for a while, but I believe in the 3-way trade that got them Brandon Knight, that pick went to Philadelphia. So this pick has been held hostage for years, but there's always rules and regulations to it.
Right. A top 5, top 3 pick.
It's
pick.
top 5 protected. Now it's top 3 protected. The Lakers absolutely want to go out there and win 20 games because they're not winning the championship, and there is no point in coming in second or third place in the NBA.
Right.
You're either first or last. Last place is second place in today's NBA.
Right. In the immortal words of Burt Reynolds, screw second.
Yeah, well, in this case, the Lakers want to be in what I call second place so they can hold on to their pick. It will be an unintentional tank, but it is in their best interest to not win a lot of games.
Absolutely.
And throw your young guys out there for 35 minutes, regardless if they win or lose. They've been doing this for a couple years, so I can understand if Lakers fans are starting to get a little stir crazy about not winning anymore, but by you putting Kobe Bryant out there for a whole year and not letting the young guys develop, this year is what last year should have been for the Lakers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let them develop. It will help them immensely in the long run because these guys have to grow up a little bit, right? D'Angelo Russell needs to become a little bit more mature.
It's the second year.
Yeah, and he's still young, but he's definitely younger than even like you think a 20-year-old, whatever he should be. So let him, trial by fire. It'll be up and down all over the place. Luke Walton will probably lose some of his hair. He's got a good head of hair, but he's probably going to lose some of it, or it's going to turn color. And then they have that 3rd pick or a top 3 pick, and then the next year it turns into nothing. Like they all have to give us like a couple second rounders, I think.
It liquidates to pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
If a team has ever had incentive to get They've wanted to keep it the past couple of years because some of the drafts have been good, and they had a chance at either Brandon Ingram or Ben Simmons this year. It wasn't a great top to bottom draft, but now they have. Not only do we get a top 3 pick, we don't lose it the following year, and it just liquidate. We'd lose our second round pick. They stole that trade if they end up getting a top 3 draft pick this year.
You're calling the Lakers we? What are you? The Knicks. Your Knicks fans are going to be really upset at you. Are you a Laker guy now?
No, I get emotional, so I'm speaking for Laker fans.
All right, good, because it's confusing. You're like a Knicks fan. You're talking about the Lakers like we. You got J.R. Smith's body on your shirt right now.
Yes.
I don't understand. It's a lot of things going on here.
Okay, let's move on before we get too far into it. Second team is the Miami Heat.
Okay.
The Heat, I'm sure the Heat Twitter will come after me and my family and find my address for this. But guess what? This is a smart year for you guys to tank. Your team consists of Hassan Whiteside, Goran Dragic, and Tyler Johnson. Justice Winslow is a nice NBA piece. You are not going to build around Justice Winslow right now. He is a complimentary defensive player who does a lot of things good.
Okay.
He is not a star at this moment.
Richardson, he's a lot
Another
of
nice complimentary NBA piece.
Okay.
That's a starting 5. Is this NBA 2K where you can press start, scroll down to settings, and turn off injuries and fatigue? Because last time I checked, you need more than 5 players on an NBA team.
You do.
First guy off the bench is what? Josh McRoberts? They signed Josh McRoberts to try and keep LeBron James. Why are we not talking more about that?
Well,
it's one of the biggest gaffes in NBA history.
Well, I thought that was the Napier thing. Isn't that why they got him too?
Yeah, it was for LeBron. But at least they didn't pay Napier. What does Josh McRoberts make?
Yeah.
8 figures?
Something. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Per year?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I hear you. By the way, I like Josh McBob. He's got some ability. But okay, you know what? Your point is well taken because I love Tyler Johnson. I love Dragic. They have something there. It's a weak Eastern Conference, but you in theory you're right.
What's the point of the Heat making the playoffs this year? When you're not going to, you're not going to win anything, regardless of what you think of the current team. You're not getting out of the first round. More importantly, Dwayne Wade has a player option at the end of the year. You are out of your mind if you don't think that the pettiness of Wade signing with Chicago, the whole reason why he signed a 2-year deal with a first-year opt-out was so he can go to Riley next year and be like, can we bury the hatchet here? And if he can't, he will go back to Chicago, and he'll be the hometown Chicago guy. He set that up perfectly.
So you think that one draft pick, and it's a good draft this year, that
is
one draft
worth
pick
tanking for.
But then it's going to make Wade want to come back and play with basically the cast we described with one extra guy who won't develop for a few years?
The draft pick, so let me give you the Heat's best scenario for 2017-2018. Dragic, Wade, Tyler Johnson, Bosh is gone, so Whiteside,
Okay.
Blake Griffin.
Ooh. Well, that will bring us to our next segment then, because honestly, you think Wade's going to be playing a couple of years at the upper level? I'm not so
He's
sure.
still a star. I think he's still a star. He's on the tail end of his career, but what we saw from the playoffs last year, he's a star. It is in their best interest to get a stud top 5 pick. If they get a top 5 pick and Riley and Wade are able to bury the hatchet, Wade will come back. He'll be the hero even more so than he was before he left Miami. The whole city thinks this is Riley's fault. That's whether you want to argue with that all you want or not. I speak for Heat Twitter when I say the reason why Wade left was because of Riley. Wade comes back. It looks like he's doing the city a favor. I missed my city. I'm back. Oh, look at that. We have a first-round draft pick and Blake Griffin's a free agent. All of a sudden, the Heat go from below mediocrity to probably a second or third best team in the East.
That is interesting. They could go into conspiracy theories as well, but that's certainly very interesting. Let's go on to our next segment here, which is after the tanking. We have our Sank.
So Sank is the team that is just drowning at the bottom of the ocean, and that team is obvious. It's the Brooklyn Nets. We want to talk about Lakers and Heat that at least have options moving forward. This Brooklyn Nets team will be irrelevant. There's nothing worse in the NBA than being bad. It's being irrelevant. That's the only thing worse. Right. They will be irrelevant until when is their next pick? 2019, 2018?
Right, it's a problem.
They're going to be off the grid completely. They stink. They're terrible.
I was going to say they must have nothing to look forward to. They could trade somebody to get a pick, but who do they have?
Their best case scenario is that Linsanity happens all over again, and they can trade Lin to segue a contender, a bank team, in exchange for their first round pick, and they get back in the draft. Granted, it would probably be a pick in the 20s. Just give the Brooklyn Nets fans something to cling on to, because at this point, why would you ever buy tickets to watch them? There's nothing there unless you're watching them get beat to a pulp.
Right. Well, you're right. Now they're going to spread the floor, shoot a ton of threes, and there could be some fun there. Yeah,
Brook Lopez? He shoots threes? Yogi Ferrell?
Hey, I like Yogi. Don't.
He seems like someone that came from the Positive Coaching Reinforcement Academy. Yogi, you're great. You're 5'6". You can do it.
Right.
He's lucky the Nets exist. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in the NBA.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about some other things here. The bank. Who is going to the bank this year? Who's going to make an impact besides the usual suspects?
Bank is the most obvious. So we described bank as you've got a duffel bag full of cash. We're going to cash this in right now. Put it away. We're here to make a deal. This is the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz, in my opinion, are the second best team in the West as currently built. You've got Gordon Hayward on an expiring contract. They stole Joe Johnson for $10 million a year. You look at what like Evan Turner and Alan Crabb and Tyler Johnson are getting. They stole Joe Johnson off the free agency market. This team has 13 players that could not only start on this current Jazz team, any other team. I could make a case for Shelvin Mack should be the starting point guard on the Utah Jazz. Okay? They are deep. They play defense. And I don't want to put too much stock in the preseason, but you cannot beat these guys in the half court.
Yeah.
Quinn Snyder has done something, whether it's he's figured out how to get Rudy Gobert to actually not just be a tall dude that stands there. Mm-hmm. Rudy Gobert is like the Death Star force field around the rim.
And I've seen him do a couple moves offensively this year that actually look like he's improved scoring, which is really frightening because there are only very few centers that could actually guard him if he could be aggressive down there as well. So
this team is so good that I can't even name their starting lineup right now. George Hill. I'm bringing Joe Johnson off the bench because I want George Hill out there. Rodney Hood is going to be most improved player of the year. Anyone that's watched this dude in the preseason, all of a sudden he can not only shoot. Shooting's been his problem when he first came in. Yeah. Now he creates his own shot and he lets the ball touch his right hand.
Yes.
He was all left hand. Now he's got moves going to his right. Mm-hmm. Rodney Hood will be most improved player of the year if it's not Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward is in a contract here, and he's a great player to begin with. So when he comes back from his injury, he's going to get after it. Mm-hmm. He's going to be as good as Gordon Hayward has ever been. Then you've got a decision up front. Do you start Favors and Gobert?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so. I mean, they've earned it at the very least to start.
So if you're going to start Favors and Gobert, you're going full early 2000s style basketball. If you have two guys, because in the modern day NBA, you can't have two guys that clog the paint. Rudy Gobert can't leave the paint on offense.
No, OKC beat the
Favors
Spurs
is going to be shooting 18-footers?
Yeah, but OKC, let's look at OKC. They did it against the Spurs. They beat the Spurs in a 7-game series with Adams and their other big guy, Cantor.
Yeah.
They did it, right? It's possible. The Memphis Grizzlies are still doing it. But when you're talking about what they can bring off the bench, that starting five will probably only end up playing maybe 10 minutes a game, right? Because then you have so many options. You're talking about Diaw and Johnson.
I was going to say Diaw, Johnson, Ingles, Mack. These aren't household names yet, but on this team, this feels like a Warriors junior in a sense that they can go to any of those guys. I'm sorry, a Spurs junior that they can go to any of those guys off the bench, plug them into the system, and they're ready to go. Quinn Snyder has developed this in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And all we have to work off of is how they played well at the end of last year and into the preseason. But this team, watching it, has it. And they have so many pieces. Again, they're 13 deep, right? We don't have the roster in front of me, but we just named 10 of the 13. Mm-hmm. They could swing if Boris Diaw isn't fitting in playtime minute-wise because Hood, Johnson, and Hayward are getting all the minutes. They could spin Diaw plus their pick for
Oh, or Lyles. They got Trey Lyles.
They got Trey Lyles.
He's a beast. He's a
Trey
beast.
Lyles is an absolute
Right.
monster. This guy, he would have been the summer league MVP if he actually played in all the games. Like
Right.
his game, like Rodney Hood, since he came out of college,
Mm-hmm.
has people don't understand that people can get better. They're not just who they are when they come out of college. Trey Lyles has gotten significantly better, and he won't see the minutes he deserves.
Right.
You swing Diao and Trey Lyles in a first-round pick for Boogie Cousins. What do you say?
Boogie has got issues as far as how he blends in with other
Someone
teammates,
like a Boogie Cousins.
But yeah.
If the Clippers fall apart and a
DeAndre
Blake
Jordan.
Griffin
Well, no,
in an
right.
expiring contract,
Right, yeah, absolutely.
I'm swinging that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'll figure out what to do with Gobert later.
Right.
But if I have a chance, they have so many options that they can liquidate their assets right now for a star and go for the title. I know this is.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're laughing because it's the Utah Jazz we're talking about.
Right.
No one takes them seriously. If this Utah Jazz team had the name Lakers on the front of their jersey, it's all anyone would be talking about is how the Warriors have a legitimate threat in the West. It's not the Spurs.
That's
It's the Utah Jazz because they're the complete antithesis to what the Warriors are, and they replicate everything that OKC did great in last year's playoffs. Beat you up on the boards with Gobert, Favors, Lyles. These guys can get after it on the glass, big time.
We didn't talk about Exum.
And the return, there's so many players. I can't even remember who's. Dante Exum came back, and he is so good on defense that I would rather be guarded by my shadow. From the preseason, his offensive game needs work.
Right.
But if you
They don't
need a
need it.
stopper, this is Avery Bradley 2.0.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You told me here's the problem with the bank part of it also is that they're going to have to start paying some guys pretty quick.
That's exactly why they're going to the bank right now and liquidating everything they got because Hayward is going to need to get paid. Joe Johnson's only on a 2-year deal. They have a couple other guys that are on options, and then they've got their Trey Lyleses of the world that their rookie contracts are going to need to be re-upped. They're not going to be able to be 13 deep for the next year and two. Next year they'll be like 10 deep.
Right.
Because they're going to have to lose some of those guys. Boris Diaw will either expire or retire at some point. They need to win right now. And people watching this, the Utah Jazz are the second best team in the West. They need to cash. This is it. They need to go for it like any other team trades the future, not a Brooklyn Nets, mortgage your entire decade to try and win one season. I'm talking if you have the opportunity to get a star on a team that stinks, that has an expiring contract, you go and get it if you're the Jazz. You are the only team that can beat the Golden State Warriors.
Wow. Well, I love your passion about it. I really, I'm very intrigued now. It's worthy of even a breakdown with some footage. So we'll have to check that out and keep our eye out that. And what a wonderful way to wrap up our tank, stank, or bank.
It's tank, sank,
Sank.
or bank.
I like stank too, but either way.
the Nets do stank.
So we got.
It's improv here on B-Ball-Breakdown Day.
Absolutely.
We literally don't script any of this.
No. So thank you for joining us for a little bit of our analysis here, and we'll have to revisit this again in 20, 30 games. They won 40, the Jazz, so it's not like going to be a.
Their over/under is 45 and a half.
Yeah, they can.
You don't
get
put
to
out
50.
a 40. They're going to win 50 games.
Yeah.
If you're a gambling man out there, I'm not even talking over/unders. Go to somebody right now and tell them, I will give you the San Antonio Spurs minus 3.5 games versus the Jazz. I think the actual difference is 5, but I think the Jazz will fall within 3.5 season wins of the San Antonio Spurs.
Wow. All right, well, that's big talk and big predictions, and I know the Jazz fans will be ecstatic with you, so you can balance out the Heat hate with the Jazz love, and I'll try to ride your coattails on that too. So thanks for coming in the studio, breaking this stuff down for us, and don't forget, sports fans, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in? Are you in, Rob?
I got shots up. I can get my shots up, though. That's all that matters. I get buckets or die trying.